The entrepreneur in the GRP business model. Investors often claim that if an entrepreneurial project is important, its leader is even more important, whether it is a person or a team. A good pilot knows how to create a representation of his business that stakeholders can share, and how to lead his organization towards a desired future. In other words, it is not just about knowing how to reason or considering reflection as an isolated exercise. It is what actually fuels interaction with potential partners. An entrepreneur conceives a model into which he injects energy, strategy, and a great deal of conviction. Indeed, an entrepreneur constantly seeks to convince clients to buy, employees to work, suppliers to deliver, funders to finance, etc. In brief, it is about convincing resource owners to provide their resources in the long term and at the same time, satisfying the multiple expectations of stakeholders by setting up long-lasting win-win relationships. Before business partners provide the particular resources an entrepreneur needs, they must believe in his capacity to gather all the various resources needed to prepare, launch, and sustain the business. The entrepreneur is the first stakeholder to consider because he has a unique status that identifies him as a component in his own right. He is the centerpiece in the business model. He holds the leading role. The partners make no mistake about it. They try to know who they are dealing with. If the project leader does not convince them, they may not sign up or propose supporting the project on the condition that a manager is recruited. The leader thus understands that creating a business is one thing and running it is another. Even if recruiting a manager may sometimes be the right solution to everyone, project leaders can still gain from introspection. It is easier to sell yourself when you know yourself well. Sincerity and coherence are the key words here, and weaknesses are only human. Nobody is the exact image of what the other would like him to be. To this end, here are some aspects to explore. Profile. If you feel you possess psychological or behavioral qualities that are right for being an entrepreneur, talk about them. There is no typical profile for an entrepreneur, but certain characteristics demonstrate your capacity to start a firm, even to run it. Motivations. An entrepreneur is often driven by a whole set of motivations. Have you understood yours? Are they the kind that boost you? Do the various members of an entrepreneurial team have compatible motivations? Have you done any long or short entrepreneurship training? Answering yes to this question shows a determination to do well. Experience and previous career. Your experience and previous career is of great interest to your partner, especially when they include stories about your business sector or relationships with clients who may be interested in your offer and become potential stakeholders. It is also perfectly acceptable to draw upon elements of your curriculum vitae. Remember to mention any diploma that would highlight relevant skills and other projects you have participated in. These might not specifically concern the new business, but they say a lot about the energy you deploy in making them happen. Family, friends, and professional relationships. Describing your relationships with family, friends, and professionals helps to identify your support network. Your personal network is also seen as a possible source of advice, financial help, and access to a wider network. It is important to mention whether or not you are receiving assistance from a structure that advises and accompanies new entrepreneurs. This is only an outline of the points you need to work on. To take things further, you should consider undertaking a skills assessment and working with a coach on entrepreneurial motivation. These are excellent ways of giving meaning to the personal and professional path you are envisaging. Indeed, committing to entrepreneurship is a combination of both. This is why the questions that the partners will ask you may often seem intimate. In their eyes, the leader incarnates the project he carries with his history, his values, his training, his network, his cognitive schemata, etc. Finally, projects are more and more frequently led by an entrepreneurial team in which each member goes through this suggested introspection. In addition to telling the story of how the members came together, It is therefore very important to show that this is the story of a winning team.